my name's Tom. I'm 58 years old. I've been a mechanic in Columbus, Ohio for over 3 decades. Never made a fortune, never cared to. I had grease under my nails, a strong back, and a woman I thought I'd grow old with. Her name was Linda. We met when I was 24, married by 26. Back then, she used to call me her rock. Her steady man. And I believed we were solid. About a year ago, Linda's health started to fade. It was subtle at first. Fatigue. Dizzy spells. Then it got serious, weight loss, constant nausea. One ER trip later, we found out her kidneys were failing. Doctors said she needed a transplant. Years of waiting, or dialysis every other day. I didn't think twice. I got tested. I was a match. I gave her my kidney. The surgery was rough. Not gonna lie. Recovery hurt like hell. Couldn't lift anything heavier than a gallon of milk for weeks. Couldn't sleep right. Had to adjust my entire lifestyle. But she smiled again. And that made it worth it. She looked at me like I hung the moon. Called me her hero. Said I gave her a second life. And for a while, things were good. She made my favorite meals. We walked together in the evenings. We even planned a small trip to Tennessee, something we hadn't done in years. Then came the little changes. She started locking her phone. Spending more time in the bathroom. Talking about finding herself. Said she needed space, emotionally. I brushed it off. Figured she was still recovering. But then came the receipt. It was a Saturday morning. I was making breakfast, bacon, eggs, extra Tabasco. The usual. She walked into the kitchen in a hurry, kissed me on the cheek, said she was going to help her friend Susan with something. As she left, I saw it. A pink receipt on the counter. Victoria's Secret. $129. Red lace. Size small. Linda hadn't worn lace in years. And she sure as hell didn't wear a small. I picked it up. Folded it. Slid it into my wallet. Didn't say a word. The next day, I saw her talking to Mike. Mike's our neighbor. Mid-40s. Works construction. Friendly guy. Always offers to help with yard work. Too friendly, now that I think about it. She was laughing. Twirling her hair. That laugh, soft, almost flirty, I hadn't heard it in months. And it wasn't for me. That night, I told her I was going fishing the next weekend. Told her I needed air. But I didn't pack my rods. I drove to Best Buy. Bought a hidden camera. Real small. Easy to place. Saturday morning, I left at dawn. Made sure to be loud. Slammed the truck door. Pulled out of the driveway and circled the block. Came in through the alley, quiet as a whisper. I set the camera on the bookshelf. Right between the Niagara Falls photo and our wedding frame. Then I left. Actually went fishing this time. Needed the water to calm the storm in my chest. Sunday morning, she left for church. I stayed home. Said my back hurt. She didn't press. Once she was gone, I grabbed the tablet, connected to the camera, and watched. 12:45 p.m. Door opens. It's Mike. No knock. Just walks right in. Like he owns the place. In his hand, a bottle of wine and a pizza box. Casual. Too casual. Linda appears from the hallway. She's wearing the red lace. Not pajamas. Not comfort wear. War paint. They sit on the couch. Close. Too close. She touches his thigh. He puts his arm around her. Her head falls onto his shoulder. I pause the video. Sat there. 23 minutes. Didn't cry. Didn't yell. Then I hit delete. Not because I didn't need the proof. I had enough. But because watching more wouldn't change what I already knew. She was gone. Not physically. But spiritually. Morally. Completely. And me? I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to confront. I was going to plan. Because I didn't just give her my kidney. I gave her my trust. And now, she was going to feel what it's like to lose something she can't get back. The next morning, I woke up before the sun. Not because I had to. Because I couldn't sleep. Linda was already gone. Left a note on the counter. Said she was going to yoga. Yoga? Linda hates yoga. Always said it smelled like sweat and incense. But suddenly she's doing yoga? Sure. I made coffee. Sat at the kitchen table. Stared at nothing. Her phone buzzed on the counter. A message popped up. I didn't touch it. Didn't need to. I just watched it light up. Can't wait to see you again. No name. Just the words. Just the fire they lit in my chest. I walked to our bedroom. Opened her closet. Pulled out one of her new dresses. Black. Tight. Not something she ever wore for me. I brought it to my nose. Inhaled slowly. Cologne. Not mine. Not subtle. This was the kind of scent that announces a man before he enters the room. A scent that lingers on skin. On sheets. On betrayal. I hung the dress back up. Then sat down on the edge of the bed. And breathed. Long, slow. Controlled. Because rage screams. But revenge whispers. That night, she came home late. Said Susan's garage needed reorganizing. I nodded. Didn't say a word. She kissed me on the cheek. Like everything was normal. But it wasn't. She smelled like that cologne again. And guilt. Thick, heavy guilt. The kind of guilt you try to wash off in a shower, but it sticks to your bones. I waited until she was asleep. Then went back to the kitchen. Grabbed her phone. Locked. But I'm not an idiot. I've seen her unlock it 100 times. Watched her fingers move. I got in on the second try. I didn't need to scroll far. His name was saved as S. Just S. The messages? Pages of them. Photos. Emojis. The kind of filth you don't expect from a woman who makes homemade jam and folds laundry while watching Hallmark movies. He called her baby girl. She called him daddy. I closed the phone. Set it back. And smiled. Not because I was happy. But because the game had officially begun. Over the next few days, I acted like nothing was wrong. I cooked dinner. Asked about her day. Kissed her good night. But while she slept, I planned. First, I contacted Jake. Old friend. Used to work IT for the sheriff's office. He owed me a favor. I asked him how to mirror a phone. He didn't ask why. Just sent me instructions. Told me what app to use. How to clone her messages to a backup account. By the end of the week, I was getting real-time updates. Texts. Calls. Photos. Every little secret she thought was safe in that locked phone now belonged to me. I printed everything. Dozens of pages. bound them in a folder. Titled it The Truth. The next step was Mike. Turns out, Mike had his own dirty laundry. He was married. Tanya. Sweet lady. Taught Sunday school. Baked cookies for the neighborhood kids. I dropped an anonymous envelope on her porch. Inside? Copies of the texts. Photos. A handwritten note, "You deserve better." 2 days later, Mike's truck was gone. So was he. But Linda didn't know that yet. She thought everything was fine. Until she came home to find her key didn't work. She knocked. I opened the door. Calm. Cold. She asked what was going on. I handed her the folder. "The truth," I said. Then I closed the door. And locked it. She didn't come back that night. I didn't expect her to. The silence in the house was heavy, but it was mine. For the first time in months, I could breathe without second-guessing the air around me. The next morning, I got up, made coffee, and went out to the garage. The place where I always thought best. I opened the old metal cabinet. Inside, documents, old tools, some things I hadn't touched in years. I pulled out my lockbox. Inside was every receipt I'd kept since 1993. I'm not a hoarder. Just someone who knows that details matter. I laid out a plan on my workbench. Not on a screen. Not in a text. On paper. Because this wasn't just about catching her. It was about ruining everything she thought she'd built behind my back. First move? Finances. Everything we owned jointly. The house. The truck. The savings. She never paid attention to money, that was always my job. And now, it would be my weapon. I moved half our savings into a private account. Legal. Traceable. But not hers. Then I called the bank. Reported suspicious activity on our joint cards. Froze them all. I left her just enough to buy gas and food. That was it. Second move? Reputation. Linda loved her job. She worked at a local dental office. Front desk. Smile and charm. Everyone adored her. I printed the most tasteful of the photos. The texts where she joked about playing dentist with Mike. Packaged them neatly in a manila envelope. No return address. Dropped it through the mail slot at her office. I didn't want her fired. I wanted her exposed. Third move? Social. I logged into her Facebook. She never changed her passwords. Amateur move. I scrolled through her messages. Found the ones she sent to her girls. Her support circle. Telling them I was cold. Distant. That I didn't make her feel alive anymore. So I uploaded a single post. A photo of her and Mike, taken straight from her own phone, sitting together on our couch. My caption? This is what finding yourself looks like. In my house. While I recovered from surgery. I posted it. Then logged out. Let them decide who the villain really was. By the end of the week, her world had started to crack. Susan stopped answering her calls. Her job asked her to take a leave of absence. And Tanya? Tanya had started spreading the story around town. It didn't take long. Small towns have long memories. And even longer tongues. But I wasn't done yet. The final phase needed precision. I waited until Friday. She came by around noon. Knocked again. This time, no folder. No apology. Just tears. Said she made a mistake. Said she was confused. Said Mike meant nothing. I listened. Didn't say a word. Then I handed her a pen. Divorce papers. Already signed on my side. She froze. Her hand trembled. She asked if we could talk. Said she needed time. I shook my head. You had time, I said. I gave you my kidney. You gave me betrayal. She didn't sign them that day. But she would. I didn't slam the door this time. I closed it slowly. With finality. Because this wasn't just the end of a marriage. It was the beginning of my peace. I didn't hear from her for a week. No texts. No calls. Not even a knock on the door. It was quiet. Too quiet. But silence can be a gift. Sometimes, it tells you exactly what you need to know. She wasn't coming back because she knew the door wouldn't open. But that didn't mean she'd stop trying, in her own way. I started hearing whispers around town. At the gas station. At the diner. Even at the hardware store. People talking. Looking. Judging. Some believed her version. Others didn't. It didn't matter. Because truth doesn't need to yell to be heard. It just waits. And soon enough, her lies started to collapse on their own. Mike had packed up and left. Moved to another town. His wife filed for divorce and got full custody of their 2 boys. Tanya made sure every woman at church knew the full story. By Sunday, Linda's name wasn't spoken with sympathy anymore. It was spoken with disgust. She tried calling me once. Blocked number. I let it ring. Then I sat down and wrote a letter. Not for her. For me. A way to close the chapter. Linda. You were my everything. And I gave you everything. Time. Trust. A piece of my body. And you gave it away for pizza and cheap wine with a man who couldn't hold a candle to me in any real way. I hope he was worth it. I hope those moments were worth all that you lost. Because me? I'm not broken. I'm free. I didn't mail it. I burned it. Because some things are better turned to ash than sent to someone who doesn't deserve the weight of your words. That same day, I filed the last of the divorce paperwork. Split everything down the middle. Fair. Clean. I didn't need revenge in flames. I already won. Because she lost the one thing she could never get back. Me. It's been 3 months. 3 long, quiet, beautiful months. I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. No alarm. Just habit. The sun creeps through the window blinds. The coffee brews in that old machine she always wanted to replace. But now I like its slow drip. It gives me time. Time to think. Time to breathe. Time to live. The house is clean. Too clean, maybe. But it's peaceful. No perfume lingering in the hallway. No second phone hidden in a drawer. No fake smiles over dinner. Just peace. Last week, I repainted the bedroom. Covered up every trace of what used to be us. Chose a deep navy blue. Strong. Simple. Mine. Sometimes, I still get looks when I walk into town. People who think they know everything. But they only know what made it to the surface. They didn't see the nights I stayed up questioning myself. Didn't feel the weight of betrayal in my chest like a cinder block. They don't know what it's like to give someone your body, and watch them throw away your soul. But I do. And I survived. No. I didn't just survive. I rebuilt. 2 weeks ago, I drove out to the lake. Just me. sat on the dock. Watched the water move like time itself, slow, steady, constant. I closed my eyes. And smiled. Not a big, loud smile. A small one. The kind that comes from knowing you lost everything you thought mattered. Only to find what really does. I don't hate her. Not anymore. Hate takes energy. And I've got better things to do with mine. Like tune up old engines. Make perfect grilled cheese sandwiches. And maybe, just maybe, say yes to the nice woman at the farmer's market who asked if I wanted to grab a coffee sometime. I told her I'd think about it. And you know what? I think I just might. Because I'm free now. Free from lies. Free from pretending. Free from carrying the weight of someone else's choices. She may have walked away with half of everything. But I walked away with the one thing she'll never have again. My peace.